All right, class, for today's video, we're actually going to make two videos. For the first one, we're going to do our first example. For our second one, we'll do our second example. So for our first example, it says, let's try some examples beforehand. Factor these trinomials if possible. If not, state why. So we're going to be taking a look at 2x squared plus 12x plus 16 and seeing if we can actually factor this one out. Let's go ahead and open up a document and take a look at it. So we have 2x squared plus 12x plus 16, and your first instinct, other than of course drawing out a box and a diamond for box and diamond method, will probably be to multiply your a term by your c term. But before we do that, let's ask ourselves, can we pull anything out of 2x squared plus 12x plus 16? If your answer to that is yes, you are 100% right. You should be able to realize that all of these are even numbers, which means we can pull a 2 out of all of them. So let's pull a 2 out. Let's think about what we have left. Well, if we divide 2x squared by 2, we're going to get x squared. If we divide 12x by 2, we'll get simply 6x. And finally, if we divide 16 by 2, we will get 8. Now, what is this going to do? This is going to make our job a little bit easier because we've pulled out that big old 2 here that would have just made all these numbers much larger. So instead of having to multiply 2x squared by 16 and then later on reduce everything by dividing it by 2, we get to do that step right now and make the rest of our work a lot easier. So now let's go ahead and insert our a term and our c terms where they go. If you remember, our a term is going to go here on the top left, and our c term is going to go here on the bottom right. We know that these two values here will add up to give us 6x. We also know that they will multiply to give us whatever 8 times x squared is. Well, that's actually an easy one. 8 times x squared is just 8x squared. And we know that we can put this in a diamond problem, so let's do that. 8 times x squared will give us our top, which is 8x squared, and then our bottom will be 6x because that's our b term. Let's put those in there. So on top, I believe we said 8x squared. And again, that's an ugly squared, but you guys get the idea, hopefully. Our other text box for down here will just be 6x. All right, so we need to ask ourselves, what numbers multiply to 8x squared and add to 6x? So let's go ahead and go down here and let's spitball a little bit. Well, let's think of all the different ways we can multiply to get to 8x squared. Well, there's 8x times 1x. That'll give us 8x squared. There's also, I want to say 4x times 2x. That will also get us 8x squared. And I truthfully can't think of any other way to get 8x squared besides these two. Now, as we've said before in the past, we could use the negative versions of them, but we know it's not going to be negative, so let's just keep it positive. All right, from here we have to figure out, can these add to give us 6x? Well, let's imagine that we have pluses here instead of multiplication signs. And if we take 8x and add 1x to it, we actually get 9x. Not exactly what we're looking for. However, we do have 4x plus 2x, and if we add those up, well, 4 plus 2 is 6, so that's just 6x. And look, there's the answer we were looking for. Instead of putting 4x and 2x here in the diamond, let's just go and put them in our box. 4x we'll put on top, and 2x down below. Again, it does not matter where you put each one, as long as both of them make it on there. Cool. All right, this gives us the inside of our box, but we're going to want to know what's on the outside of the box for our factors. Well, to get x squared, you should know by now we're just going to have an x up top and an x on the side. I don't know if we can put those perfectly on there, but imagine there's an x over here on the right next to it. Well, what times x will give us 2x? Well, that's going to be a 2. And what times this x will give us 4x? Well, that's going to be a 4. We know that 4 times 2 does equal 8, so we know we have our right values. That means the answer to this will be 2 times x plus 4 times x plus 2. And that's going to be the answer to this practice problem. So it was possible. That's going to be the end of this video.